All right, so I want to get some of my thoughts out there about this whole Deflategate thing. And personally, I kind of find that the whole thing is being over exaggerated and everything. I think one of the biggest reasons everybody's losing their mind right now is because this is happening with the New England Patriots. A lot of teams have come out, and even former players, I shouldn't say a lot of teams, but some teams and some former players in the NFL have come out and said they've all done this with footballs before. They've underinflated them or whatever. It's easier to throw it farther. It's easier to catch and stuff like that. I'm going to say this about the AFC Championship game. If okay, underinflated balls was not the reason the Colts got their ass kicked, all right? And if you guys were watching any of the ESPN or NFL Network yesterday, you would realize that they actually said that those underinflated balls they took away at halftime. And the Patriots only scored like 14 points up to halftime, I believe. So in the second half, when they started using regular balls, the Patriots scored 31 points. That right there should end the fucking argument. Like, I'm sorry, that I don't care. Listen, I'm not a fan of the Patriots. I mean, I'm a Seahawks fan, obviously, but I'm not gonna sit here and act like one of those just retard fans and I'm not gonna hop on the bandwagon of, oh, the Patriots are cheaters, because a lot of people, they go back to Spygate and they talk about, oh, well, Spygate, they cheated, they went 16-0 or whatever. That was back in 2007. It's 2015 right now. That was like 8 years ago. Like, seriously, 8 years ago, let it go. And you know what? I have no room to talk as a Seahawks fan because you know what? We've had like the most PED like players. I mean, granted, a lot of them aren't on our team anymore, but we've had the most like PED suspensions and everything in the league since like 2010. All right. So, and I mean, you could argue that using performance enhancing drugs is just as much as cheating as underinflating balls. All right. So, I mean, I'm just saying, I have no room to talk here. I would personally, that would make me a hypocrite if I sat here and said that. Now, so do I believe that the underinflated balls is the reason the Patriots beat the Colts? No. All right. The Colts could not tackle LeGarrette Blount, and the reason they couldn't tackle him had nothing to do with the football. It was just poor defense and everything. All right. So now that we got that out of the way, I have to go on a little fucking rant right now about the NFL. We're 10 days away from if you're a football fan, we're 10 days away from like the best day ever and like for a football fan. I mean, even if your team's not in the Super Bowl, it's so awesome. Whether you want to watch it for the commercials or just have your whole family gather around and just watch it on the big screen television, food and all that stuff. It's so awesome. And what are we talking about? Instead of talking about Brady versus a Legion of Boom or Russell Wilson versus like the Patriots' great defensive backs or whatever, or Marshawn Lynch against the Patriots' great run-stopping defense. Instead of talking about all that, we're talking about fucking deflated footballs. And, and I forget who, I think it was Adam Schefter who said it, but he said it great. He goes, of course the season starting in controversy it's going to end in controversy, and Jesus, the NFL. And here's the thing, if you do believe that Bill Belichick or the Patriots or whatever, if you do believe that they underinflated the balls on purpose or anything, what I have to say is instead of just sitting here and, blaming the Patriots, I think a bigger finger should be pointed at the NFL. I'm just saying, because when you think about it, the NFL, I really don't think the NFL has their priorities straight, all right? They're all for player safety and stuff, but yet Sue steps on Rodgers' leg, which looks like to me on purpose. I can't prove that he did it on purpose or anything, but it looked like it was definitely on purpose. They fined him $70,000, all right? And they were originally going to suspend him, for the playoff game, but they're like, no, we're just going to fine you $70,000. God forbid Marshawn Lynch doesn't talk to the media and he gets fined $100,000, and he just got fined $20,000 today or yesterday, whatever day it was, for like grabbing his crotch for half a second. Like if you watched when he grabbed his crotch during that game, it was literally in a split second. It was so, I know for all I know, he could have just been adjusting his nut cup, like seriously. And God, it's just. It seems to just not even be about football anymore. There's always these controversies, and like I said, we're leading up to the biggest day in like pretty much all sports. The Super Bowl's way bigger than the World Series. It's way bigger than, the NBA championship. It's just so big, and we're talking about fucking deflated balls, and it's, it sucks, this is such an awesome Super Bowl. They're number one seed of the AFC versus the number one seed of the NFC. You got Tom Brady, who is one of the arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks and probably the greatest quarterback when it comes to the postseason, or you can argue Joe Montana because Joe Montana has one more ring. But still, you have one of the best quarterbacks and a great, the Patriots have been to 5 Super Bowls in the 21st century already, all right? And they've won 3 of them, right? They've pretty much been the dynasty of the last decade. And you got the Seahawks, who are an up-and-coming team, and, they're the fight that they put against the Packers, they just never gave up, and they ended up pulling off arguably one of the greatest comebacks ever, even though it was a sloppy game. And we're talking about deflated footballs. Like I said, I don't think the Patriots did this on purpose, And if they did, they removed the balls at halftime, and in the second half, the Patriots played way better. So, I don't know. I find it kind of weird that they would do that on purpose. I don't know. I think it's just, like I said, I think it's just because it's New England, and a lot of people, when you think about New England, you think about the year 2007 and Spygate and all that stuff. I'm not going to hop on the bandwagon and call the Patriots cheaters, all right? I'm not going to do that because that's stupid, and I would be a hypocrite because, if they're cheaters for underinflating balls, then the Seahawks are cheaters because we've had a shit ton of players that like to take performance-enhancing drugs, I'm just saying, that would make me a hypocrite. But I really wish we would just get back to just loving football and stuff. I go on NFL.com, I go on that stuff, and it's all a bunch of controversies, and it's the NFL finding players for stupid shit like grabbing their crotches or not talking to the media, and God forbid you wear Beats by Dr. Dre instead of Bose, and it's so stupid. The NFL, I understand it's a business and it's got to make money, but God, dude, it's the NFL, honestly, like when people say no fun league, it's almost really like that. It's the no fun league, and people go, oh, well, Marshawn Lynch should be fined for grabbing his crotch because, he's a role model to some kids. We don't want some kids doing that. It's, his job is to play football, and that's what he does. And if he grabs his crotch and some kid wants to follow his example, I don't know what to say. His job isn't to be a role model. It's to be a great running back for the Seattle Seahawks, which he is. And that's really all I have to say about Marshawn Lynch getting fined $20,000. And I hope when we win the Super Bowl this year against the Patriots, because we will, I hope he grabs his crotch again on national television a few times. I sent a message to the NFL, find me all you want, It's just whatever. I really wish we can just get back to just loving football. There's always these controversies. There's always something going on. It just needs to stop. People are always talking about, I wish players would just shut up and play the game. Because, they go, oh, Richard Sherman talks too much. I wish he would just shut up and play. And then you have a player like Marshawn Lynch who does just shut up and play, and then people complain that he doesn't fucking talk. I don't understand. I don't get it. You can't have it both ways. Pick one or the other. Anyway, that's my little rant. Like I said, I don't think the Patriots did this on purpose, and whether Belichick knew about it or not, I have no idea. I don't know, and like I said, I'm not going to hop on the bandwagon or anything. Unless there's evidence that comes out that supports that he knew about it or intentionally did it, there's got to be evidence. I'm not going to sit here and say they did when there's no evidence, Innocent until proven guilty, Anyway, I cannot wait for the Super Bowl, 10 days away, but it's just a shame that we keep talking about underinflated footballs. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and go Hawks.